Welcome everyone to our reviving episode of Coffee Before
return.
Bed, an LPL talk show, episode 8, where myself and Kangas and our producer Kai will be taking you through everything that's happening in the LPL over the last 3 days. The theme of the show, I'm going to bed because I just got done casting LPL. Kangas is just getting up because he's some kind of crazy morning man. He's got a bunch of coffee.
It's
So we named it Coffee
9:15 a.m.,
Before
my
Bed.
dude.
It is a
Pacific
little
time.
bit late, but perfect timing for everybody that wants to watch this show.
This was a bad morning for me, though. I usually don't do this. I've been really good so far, but I did stay up till like 4
You're
a.m. playing
playing
Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Links on my
Of
phone.
course you did. Of course you did. Did you know
But
this
I
guy's
did
going to be
unlock
a...
a completed Gear deck. So
I see.
shout out to the
Well,
Gear players.
I will say, Yu-Gi-Oh! Casting World Championship aside, we're going to get to this episode now. I do want to give a little bit of
Now
a
it's your time to spoil things.
preview. Preview things here as we're going to be taking a look at the standings of the LPL. We're going to be taking a look at the best of week number 2 and going through a little bit more afterwards as well. So now looking at the standings, I will say it's been a little while since we've caught you up on things, Kangas. And I think that starting off, first and foremost, my bias aside, BLG is number 1. 5-0 win streak. While they have a tough schedule ahead of them, they look pretty good. Does that sound about right here?
Does it count if they've played one less game though than JDG? I mean, look at that. Come on.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know if I believe it.
JDG lost their first series of the split, and they've been on.
Yeah, they
5-0
both have the
so
same win streak. Interesting.
Yeah.
It is taking me back to seeing all of these. Wow. I'm concerned at how little I remember from spring. This is going to be basically an entire relearning process.
That's exactly why we're here.
Really a case study for, the human memory.
I don't know if you're best subject for that. I would just say, as your friend, as your brother,
you're gonna be an outlier in this one.
All right, but after we look at the standings, obviously some things going through their EDG really need to pull something out of the rabbit's hat. We're in week 3 now. We'll be getting to about halfway of the season in just a couple days, which is just insane that we just started and already is that way. But we'll see some movement in this next couple weeks and how the meta ships out. We do want to look at, though, best of the week because we have some awards to give out. And it was overwhelmingly one-sided in one way, as JDG had 2 out of the 5 members, Kangas. People you might know from recent MSI exploits in Kanavi and Knight, who took jungle and mid respectively. But you got Xiaoshu.
Right?
These are all the roles. This is your best team of week number 2. Xiaoshu, a rookie, this split coming in, got the top spot. Jackie Love, another name you know probably, and on from recent BLG MSI success.
Nice.
Yeah.
We love to see rookies popping up on these types of lists, promising for the future players.
He's also
let's look at
number
some
1
stats,
in MVP
though.
count.
Yeah, that's 3 MVP counts already. That's pretty cool. So what does the number 1 at the bottom mean? Because Knight has a number 2.
So it's the stat that's in the big blue box.
That would make sense.
So you got damage per minute. Knight's number 2.
Okay, cool.
I don't know what enemy NM means.
Wards per minute. I love support stats. They're amazing.
Let's go. They're great. They're great.
Amazing they didn't pick CSG,
He's number 1
though. Yeah.
Yeah. So we do want to go ahead and transition to best player of the week, which was none other than Knight. 155% damage to gold ratio in terms of efficiency, but as well as just that damage per minute number as a whole as mid laners. Yes, there's somebody else better, but Knight did it best in week 2 and had some really big moments.
All I can say is that Knight could probably learn from was it Mir? Yeah, Knight can learn from Mir, who was 7,000 gold up his opponent in NACL over the weekend. So just
I actually brought up
that's
NACL
actually
today
pretty impressive
in LPL because Angel played TF, which we'll get to later. He did not go the APA build. Anyways, let's move on to best rookie of the week, which gave a little bit of foreshadowing at our best of the week for week number 2. Xiaoshu, the rookie, does get it. Pretty impressive stuff in a top lane that is dominated by so many legendary names of the LPL, like the Shy, 369, Bin, things like that. I think Xiaoshu's really representing.
So this number 1, this is for the week. Like
Yeah. No,
over
the
how
number
much
one
time? Just for
MVP
the
count
day?
is total for the
Well,
split. Like all the number ones except for the best rookie of the week.
so gold difference at end, that means that throughout the entire split, he is currently holding
Yeah.
the record for
hmm
a top laner? Oh,
At
cool.
least at the end of week 2. There's been 2 days, I guess, in week number 3, so maybe
Yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah.
changed. But
11 KDA, that's not a lot of deaths for a top laner. I know that, like, top lane is oftentimes just left on an island, so you don't know you generally see crazy high death counts, but still pretty impressive.
yeah, pretty impressive. So that is our award setup for the week of week number 2. We'll have another award set up to give out next week, as they do this every single week. So we get our nice little
Good for
accolades to
them.
give out. But that does mean we're going to move on to our first segment, which is the coverage of the days. Now, when we're going to do this, we're going to go through the results of the entire day. We're going to kind of talk through the games, and I'll give an overview while we're looking at the results holistically, and then I'll pick apart the games one by one and kind of bring out the big moments. Not every
Okay.
game is going to be important in a 17 team league, so we'll try and
No
keep
way.
things brief. No way. Who'd
I
have
thought that
thunk?
the 17th
Ah.
best LPL team could
I mean,
beat
if I had it my
69.
way, I would tell a story for every team. But that's maybe
That's
opting into the Mazel
cringe,
Hopium Emporium a
Mazel.
little bit
That's
too much.
cringe. We
That's
only talk about
cringe.
the good teams.
All right, all right. So 3 days ago, we had at least the last day, super day of week number 2. It was a heck of a long day. All right. It ended up with the match of the week at the end in TES Weibo, but we had FPX falling to LNG, LNG with the likes of Gala, things like that. Now we had RA taking a 2-1 over LGD. LGD still haven't found a win in summer. And then, as I was foreshadowing to the TES 2-1 over Weibo, a very hard fought match of the week. And as we get into these Kangas, you can imagine what a 9-game day means in the LPL. But it was a lot of
Means
fun.
I hear you yelling at like 7
Yeah,
a.m.
that's also what happens. But in the FPX versus LG series, we're gonna skip straight to game 3. We had a Nico jungle for Ning, or for rather thought it was
That says
Ning. It was
scout.
Scout, who
Oh, who's
actually it
testing
was a
who
jungle.
now,
Yeah,
Mazel?
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Because I'm thinking of something later where I screenshot it. But we did have actually an incredible performance from Scout on this one in game 3 to clutch it out against FPX. FPX have not been that great this split, but LNG have the likes of Scout. They have Gala now. They have Tarzan. They have huge names that need to find success, and came out clutch in a very, very tough series against an opponent that probably shouldn't have been that tough. But you see that KP 89% on the Nico.
ooh.
That's
That's
just
a lot of
insane.
damage too.
Yeah.
34% damage share for a mid laner. Nico is just busted right now, though. Like,
Yeah,
this has got to
that's
be a
true.
permaban champion. I cannot believe this keeps getting through. But I guess there's a
The
lot of
amount
permaban champions.
yeah, yeah, yeah. The amount of times that I see Nico not first picked on blue side and then picked on red side and ends up winning is just actually insane to me. But then we want to look at the other side of things where we did actually see LWX pop off. He's the only remaining member of FPX, of that world championship squad, left on the team, and he himself had an incredible Iphelios performance. Goal difference doesn't matter when you do 47% of your team's damage and have an 85% KP.
That is absurd. What was their mid laner played and jungle top? Like, did you remember the comp?
I don't remember the comment. This is 3 days ago in the LPL, my
That
friend. We've had
is,
a lot of
yeah,
games since
yeah, yeah.
then.
But still, I mean, like, Aphelios can be that type of carry, but it's just that is
Mhm.
very rare that you see that. That's half of your team's damage.
Yeah.
Very close to half of your team's damage.
And then we had the series between RA and LGD, where we'll go straight to game number 3. I think that was very chaotic, very rough. Game number 1, game number 2. Game number 3 was pretty much holistically in RA's favor. He saw some dips, some ebbs, but it was really Assume who came out on top on the Zaya. And I think we've seen in the LPL, Zayas are so good. We see so much peel back that I guess influences the team fights that we've seen heavily taken at around 20 minutes. And Zaya has come out clutch in so many of these games. It's insane.
Okay, I know that mid laner's name is Strive now, but there was
Yes.
a split second there I thought their name was Steve, and I got very excited.
I am Steve.
If you had
Start
not told
singing
me
the
about a
song.
player named Steve, I would have been very upset.
Yeah.
Also, hi Chad. Oh wait,
True.
no,
Nope.
Chow. That's not a
Yep.
D.
Yep.
The screen
Or
is very
I
small.
guess sometimes if he's able to pop off, he'll be hi Chad.
Yeah.
I'll make sure to use that in a cast for
there's
sure.
there's the Twitch copy pasta for anybody
Yeah. All right.
cheering them
So
on.
next up, we're gonna have some clips for the next one because it was our match of the week for week number 2. It was the last day of week number 2. This is one I got to cast as well as with Kitty, and it was a 3-game bang arena. And there's a couple things here. I might play some of these clips a couple times, hopefully, Kai. But we'll start off with the game 1 clip right now. I think that Top Esports with Weibo, along with a couple of our other key series, were super important strategically because you see a lot of minute moments that mean so much. And even in these objectives times, Rookie as a Nico in game number 1 and 2, game 1 did not look great. Game 2, he looked incredible, but it came off the back of the shy Poppy pick that actually popped off in game 1, ended up getting a huge comeback win in the game, and the fact that we actually have a Poppy top with a Maokai jungle and a Nico mid is countering that Nico mid is incredible.
You gotta love Poppy Toppy.
Poppy toppy. Is that what we're going with?
Yeah, I stole that one from Joshi.
All right. So the thing is though, Weibo had a hard fought game number 1. They came out, they got the game win. Game 2 and 3 though, it was a story of Rookie and it was a story of Top. We got hopefully you get to see some of this peel back. This was at the very end of game number 2. Literally, Weibo step
Oh,
out 1 second and Rookie turns right back on them. They were about to leave. They were going to reset. And then they just see this
what
and they
is
end the game after this.
what is the Sejuani's items? That Sejuani just got blown up like a balloon.
Yeah, let's go ahead and replay that one back one more
Can we?
time
I don't know if we're gonna.
because
Yeah, I don't think we see the items.
no, we
But
don't
let's
see
just
the items. We don't
what?
see the
Oh
items.
no,
But
wait. Sejuani's already like half health. Okay,
yeah.
that makes more sense. I mean,
But
still though, that health went down very fast. I don't know
yeah,
if it would have
and it
mattered.
was decisiveness from Rookie that I really appreciated because he still has been such a strong point for Top Esports, but they just haven't found the carries available for him. And we'll see this back here. This is something where like Weibo are wanting to fight. The Shy has just TP'd in here, and they immediately just pop all the triggers right back on
I love how they even get the Cassante too. He's like, "Now let
him.
me hop in the bubble."
Now, if
Uh,
you didn't
yeah.
notice, it's kind of funny because in this series we had the Shy versus Rookie and Jackie Love, his previous
Mm-hmm.
teammates, his world championship partners. We also had Tien versus Crisp, FPX world championship partners. So a lot of bad blood, maybe some old friendships in this one. But you'll see in game number 3, there were no friendships left. Rookie, again, watch this one particularly. The last second charm onto light is the game busting mechanic right here. So it takes a little while to build up, but just watch Rookie here. Bam. Game's over after this. The game is literally over after this.
Oh, that's smooth.
If we could go back and get a little bit of slow-mo on that, like it is clinical what this man does. Like there is a reason why he's so lauded over so many times, and he always finds a way to carry. And it's little moments like this, man.
That is, yeah, that's like every Ari's dream right there is to land that charm.
There's one win condition for Weibo, and it's light. That's it. That's the win condition. It's Zeri.
And they're like, they got the forward momentum. They're feeling themselves. You can tell that light, like with 2 tanks, like they got the Wukong and the Scion around them. And then there's just one, everyone splits.
Oh,
and light walks back forward. Oh,
he's like one step forward instead of backwards difference from making a game-breaking decision. It's just incredible what Rookie can pull out. And yeah, he got MVP for this one. His Ari was actually incredible. But just some highlights from the Top Esports Weibo series. If you didn't watch it, I recommend watching it. It was a heck of a series. There was a lot of moments like this. I'm not going to play every single one, but it was really fun to watch.
That's gonna make it the highlight reel at the end
Is
of
that
the
enough?
split.
Is that the caffeine injection you needed watching Rookie hit that charm?
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, I'm awake now.
you're awake. All right,
I'll
let's move
play
on to
some
the
mid
next
lane.
day. This was yesterday, where we had two best of threes because we only have three best of threes 5 times a week. We had
Okay, yes, very reasonable
TT
schedule.
versus Ultra Prime. Yes, yes, of course. We did go the distance though, all 6 games. This was also Alk Battery's debut
Shout
as a
out to
guest
Elk
caster, which was
Battery.
huge. Ultra Prime take a 2-1 victory over TT, and BLG actually lost the game to AL, but they still took a 2-1, and that's how they got to that 5-0 position. And there were some very interesting decisions between Ultra Prime and TT in that first series. I think there was a lot of chaos about it. There's not much I want to cover about it. I think we'll go through one of the clip and then a couple of the graphics. I want to go ahead and bring up the first clip of TT and Ultra Prime though, because I feel like there was some essence of LPL chaos that we had in this one that we rarely see now with a lot of our top teams. Obviously, neither of these teams being too much of top teams, but as we go ahead and play this one out, it was also a moment where it's straight back to ADC dominance for LPL. You see Ning is on the Nocturne, and we get to see a kind of mechanical outplay here as well with this paranoia coming through, able to steal that dragon, but it's just absolute chaos afterwards. Multi-pronged fight going on between the two, and a little bit of a try-hard moment from TT.
I like these like little 1v1s that will happen in these kind of fights.
Mm-hmm.
Where Zier and Akali just find themselves duking it out on the side. I didn't see Daga's positioning there at the end. Did I think he had flat? No, he must not have been flat.
Nah,
So there
yeah.
must have been like a fight that had broken out right before this because everybody's flashing on like the same timer.
They were so even before that fight, and then TT just end the game here. Like it wasn't even that big of a moment. Right? We're 30 minutes in, both teams had like about 55k, and then that fight just breaks up and the game is over. And that
Yeah.
was how game one ended. But then as we want to go over to game two, we had actually one of the craziest stat lines I think I've ever seen in Forge, who at 100% KP on an Annie, over 200% efficiency with damage to gold, but 42% damage on an Annie.
Wow.
On an Annie, man. Usually you think Annie is like, okay, you get a little bit of damage, you're there for setup.
Hmm.
Not Forge's day. Not Forge's. Look at that build. Ludens, Void
Yeah,
Staff,
that's what I
Rabadons.
was looking at.
He's playing ARAM Annie.
Got Zonies eventually. That's at some point around there. Also with the first
First
strike, that's
strike.
gonna help out with the damage to gold ratio. But yeah, no, that's impressive. I love seeing Annie's that are played by people that know what she's supposed to do. Because I feel like when you watch a lot of Annies in developmental NA, like NACL,
Hmm.
I only see Leandries every single game. Only Leandries, even games where it just doesn't feel like it makes as much sense. And then
Yeah.
also they just don't do really very much of anything. I would love to see this Annie play because I feel like this would make me a fan of the Annie pick, which right now I
True.
am not a
Not a
fan
fan.
of.
Not a
I
fan.
just don't see the reason why you would prioritize this champion.
Well, you know what I was a fan of, and this is I got them mixed up earlier for some reason. But Ning came out clutch in game number 3. We saw how TT ended game 1. It was a rambunctious end, but in game number 3, Ning on the Kindred actually had a pretty big moment, and I just can't believe that in this day and age in 2023, we're seeing Ning pop off. Like Ultra Prime started with like a 3-win streak in their summer split. And to see him still just going off on carry junglers, this guy was the OG jungle king, right? Like this guy
Oh, that's
is a
KDA.
world champion. And yeah, pretty good stat line, I'd say.
Yeah, 706. Hey, that's not 40% of your team's damage though. So I'm not impressed personally based on the
Oh,
other
okay.
stats we've been
Sorry.
seeing.
I
The
see, I
bar's been
see.
set too high, clearly.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot
Well,
of goal differential though. Holy crap.
yeah, it
5,600
is.
as an
As a
individual
jungle, man.
player.
As a
Oh
jungle.
no.
That's just
What
rough.
happened?
It's a rough life. It's a rough life. So that was our series, the first one of that day. Yesterday, Ultra Prime ended up taking the 2-1 victory over TT. But now the fun one where AL took a game off of BLG. And we'll go ahead and bring up some clips now. We'll have a game clip from each one of them. We'll start off
Okay.
just kind of like we did with the match of the week.
You say that like it's a big deal. Was this like a massive upset or something?
Well, BLG were 4-0, so that starts pretty well. They were also semifinalists in MSI, which is a
Okay,
pretty
yeah.
big deal. And Anyone's Legend, formerly Rogue Warriors, have been a consistent organization that have gone 0-16 or bottom of the rung every single split. And they're not doing great this split either. So
All right, so
the
BLG are
fact that
still
they were able to
undefeated
take a win,
series, but they got one
really
game
big.
win.
Yes.
Okay. Interesting.
So first game starts off. It ain't looking great for AL because you got Elk on Zeri, you got Odd on Lulu. Anytime you're going to give over the Zeri to Elk, it looks damn good. Yagao was popping off in this one. It just every time what I wanted to show there is like no matter what happens, even if you have these kind of clutch plays, like look at that. He just literally flash killed two people. And
My
he is
God.
just sitting there like nothing happened. And that is consistently the case with so many LPL players in these hype moments. They are just cold hard killers.
I want to see them concurrent. I want to see as the play happens what he looks like. That'd be great.
But yeah, I get a little bit of a moment from Yagao in game number 1. Definitely setting the tone for the series. Yeah, it's it hurts. It hurts.
Jeez.
But we'll go ahead and go to game number 2. This is where AL found purchase. They were able to find a little bit of something as well as I loved the aspect of Xiaohao getting a Kha'Zix here. The aggression from AL was super huge, but it was really their team fighting that came alive in the second game and objective control. Obviously, they had 3 dragons in the first game, 4 in the second game, and you can see how they kind of broke open BLG here. They won right after this one. They just pushed straight up the middle.
That was some bunny hopping coming in from Kha'Zix at the end of that play. All right, so yeah, the Kha'Zix jumps in from Fog of War, and Viego's just getting tagged by everything. But watch this Kha'Zix. Boom. Oh, okay, maybe not yet.
Can't get
Maybe
it.
not yet. Oh,
Whoop,
okay.
there you go.
Let's watch this. Watch this though. Bop.
Nice.
Bop.
Gotta love those mechanics. So AL brought it back. They had brought BLG to a full 3 games, and then we had game number 3, which BLG took full advantage of. And we'll be bringing up that third game now, where this was Shun on a very heavy facilitator. And I think we saw a big moment from Yagao on this Jace being a huge hyper carry for the team. You see there, he literally just solo kills Jitoi, and that makes the biggest difference right now, right? Like this Aphelios was the key carry. Yes, you have the Camille. That's all cute. That's all well. But this moment right here where he just single hand hammer slams him, insane.
Wait, who's the main character or the carry? Jace.
Jitoi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
On the Aphelios. Watch right there.
Boom.
He's literally just gone.
Yeah.
Literally just gone.
Camille tried to do some work here. Ben, shout out to Ben for also just jumping in there past the Camille, just saying, all right, I don't really care about you. They trade carries at least, but yeah, I guess with having the Jace on your team as well, you got plenty of damage to follow up. Shout out to the Emilio for just saying bye 80 carry. Good luck over there on your own.
Bye-bye. This was also a game where you had, Diana jungle, double AD solo laners for AL. They were definitely pumping out the AD damage. I think there can be some things said about their composition, but I just love the execution by BLG.
Mm-hmm.
God, that feels so bad to be an ADC.
Yeah, no one's able to mark the Jace.
Feels real bad,
going
man.
forward. Your Nautilus doesn't have cooldowns up. Yeah, Jace Hammer or Skyfall did like half his health. That was crazy.
Yep. So that was the BLG versus AL series. That was yesterday. The culmination ended up being a full 3 games in that last one. We'll go ahead and look at tonight's games, the ones that I just got done casting, which actually was a pretty fun night. It was a bit of a shorter night, though. We had a 2-1 victory from OMG over NIP, a nice little reverse sweep for them there. And then JDG just hammer. We saw Jace do that just now to Jitoi. JDG did that to RNG, man. It it was real rough. JDG are looking so damn clean. And I will get to see a little bit later. But first and foremost, I do want to go ahead and bring up game number one of NIP versus OMG. This is where NIP actually found a lot of success, even though Aki was literally in Shadow's face from a minute and 45 seconds into the game and did not leave his jungle until 5 minutes. And still, Shadow found a way to be successful in combination with this TF and end up winning the game. Like you see that momentum shift at about 20 minutes. That was a Baron flip.
Mm. That's not a lot of damage dealt by the junglers, especially if they're like invading constantly. I would have expected
it was
them to
like
be fighting
levels
more.
1 through 5, so a little bit less
yeah.
jungle. I will
But
also
like
say
5,400 damage for a Viego is nothing.
Yeah, it was not great. I will also say that the cohesion between Shadow and Angel and Aki and Kareem were what we were really looking into tonight, but Photic and Abel were kind of the like late game carries. And it was huge to see NIP actually pull this one out with the back of Photic and Lucian, where they had so much scaling on the other side, but they never got there. And I think that's where OMG learned from and went to adapt in game number 2, as we have another graphic here of Shanji's monster cannon that they let through the draft, and he literally picked them apart.
Cool.
Full AP. Dab.
The double, the old double.
Dab again. The double. Full AP, 40% damage, 73% KP. As soon as he started getting involved in team fights, it was incredible. He also went electrocute, by the way.
I'm noticing that. And Ultimate Hunter too, so you're just spamming out the team fights. What was the matchup? Do you remember what the
I want to say it was a Scion in game 2.
Oh, that's just rude.
Or Gnar. It was one of the two. No, I think it was Gnar. I'm pretty sure it was Gnar.
Okay, Gnar is a little more. If it's Scion, that damage percentage is fraudulent. But if it's Gnar, then that counts.
Yeah. So we had this kind of comeback momentum swing for OMG. It still was a pretty hard fought game. And then we got to game number 3, and more pieces got let through. And I have a clip here of game number 3 between them because I think it put a capstone on this whole thing. It was literally just go into the base. They had Tristana in game 3 as a counter to the Aphelios Yuumi. This was the first time we had seen this. This is one of Abel's comfort champions. They grabbed it to pair with Emilio. And when we were in draft, we were like, this is actually such an OP combo. The amount of range, the passive that you get gathered from Tristana as you go, and the Emilio increasing your range, you just can't fight it. And we saw that so consistently. You see at the end there, 8, 1, and 4 for Abel on the Tristana.
Yeah, wait. Now just start. Can we start that play over again? Well, look at how far away Trist is autoing here.
Yeah. Like, that's insane.
That's without the literally
insane.
I want to see the Melia W go down. Oh, wait, no. Wait, is Melio? Yeah, Melio's coming there. Okay. Let's see it. Maybe when they turn back to the Ari, we'll get it. Yeah.
The long distance. No.
Sorry, the Aphelios. No, we're just gonna jump right over.
Look at that. See, that's still really far, man. Like that right there. Like that's the distance. Like that's so far. So we saw that, and our minds are opened up now. I'm like, bring on the Yuumi. Dude, we can fight your tyranny. We can disable her. You don't need to be scared anymore.
Melia has so many busted pairings. I haven't tested this enough, and I don't know at the pro level if it would actually translate, but I imagine Melio Callista is another combo, especially once the buffs come through, that's just going to wreck people. Because what are you going to do with extra attack range Callista? Just throwing spears at you, chasing you down. Like, it's so much harder to even get away from her now. But so makes a lot of sense too, yeah.
Yeah, this combo is nuts. I hope to see more Tristanas in the league. It'd be really cool. I do want to go ahead and move on to the next series. We had JDG versus RNG. On paper, the big theory coming into this one, RNG are in a different trajectory. RNG are rebuilding. They're building around Breathe and Way. They're bringing in new players. JDG are on a trajectory to be world champions. And it showed like so much. Kanavi continuously aggressed on Way. Way tried to fight back, both MSI caliber junglers, but it was Ruler against LP that ended up being the difference every single time. they tried to check Ruler, and Ruler checked them back so many of these fights. And you get to see some of the skirmishing back and forth, but it was really the decisiveness from JDG that made it come through. And Kanavi was like 10-1 or 10-2 and 14 or something in game number 1. And Ruler was like 9-1 and something as well.
Yeah, I believe you, but it's very funny that you say that in the clip we're showing. He's just kind of vibing in the bot lane farming.
Well,
But,
I mean, that's also 9 minutes in.
yeah.
But this was Kanavi's game.
I like
that
369's play here. That's so funny.
Yeah.
Just like, nope. Yeah, Poppy does not ult.
Ruler came into factor later. Kanavi was the mainstay for like a majority of this game, and he had a lot of control around the map. And then we got to game 2, and RNG tried to pull some things away from JDG. It didn't work. They did have some nice little contests back and forth, and again, it was very much Kanavi versus Wei, but Ruler got ahead, and you just can't have that happen. And he literally destroyed them. There was like this one fight in base where he was just picking people apart with the Calibrum, and it just shows that Ruler, like, even though he's been a player for so long, he is still at the top of his game. He is like definitively right now the best ADC in the LPL.
Okay, so let's watch how he approaches this fight. He's got Gale Force and Flash. He ghosts early, just shreds Isaiah. Wow.
Keeping the distance from the blade caller on the side, like, God. And then he's
Blast
just like,
cone.
all right, let's end these two.
Okay, so he used the Gale Force already, but yeah, there's just no threats at this point. I mean, everybody's looking at Knight.
Yeah.
I don't think he has to flash here, right? I'm pretty sure he just runs him down. Maybe he flashes this wall.
Just try to ensure the kills. And at this point, game had gotten a little bit out of hand. It continued to be a little bit scrappy, but JDG came out with a really big 2-0 stomp. So
Ghost lasted that entire play, by the way.
Yeah.
Very fun.
Feels good, man. Feels good,
man.
Yeah. But as
they got engaged from Knight too. I mean, finding those kinds of flash anti-stuns with the Kha'Zix. I feel like anti-Kha'Zix is a combo that can work, but you have to be willing to do that. You have to be willing to get in their face and just force the play to happen. You can't play passive as anti-Kha'Zix. So
I will have a side note. Tong Yuan in the mid lane for RNG. He is a upcomer from the LDL squad for them. He was playing a little bit last split, but Angel took over after a couple weeks. He wasn't really finding some consistency. He was supposed to be Xiaohu number 2, but he never really found that way. He actually had a pretty stable performance against Knight, who literally just won MSI off of being a huge carry out of mid lane. So I will give some special shout outs to Tong Yuan, but still, RNG did not look up to par to JDG. And that brings us to the end of the catch-up segment. So we at least have all the analysis out of the way now. And
I was going to say, I see Leandri's on that Annie right after I was talking about the different builds, and I was going to take a moment to be like, does it make sense in this
built different, though. Come on.
There is a Scion, so if you're looking for damage against the giant tank, I mean, who else is going to kill the Scion? Oh, you have Ruler to kill Scion. Well, you're the only AP. Yeah, I guess it does make a little sense against this specific comp. If there's a giant tank and you just want that HP DOT,
yeah,
that's damage over time for all the Do people still
man,
say that?
so
Dot is that? I don't even.
elevated.
That's not like a league thing.
Enlightened, if you will. Anyways, that's it for our catch-up segment in the last 3 days. But now we're gonna take a little bit of a break, and we're gonna say a little bit of a how do you do to Kangas. Have you had enough coffee?
Hi.
Have you had enough coffee yet?
Well, never, Mazel. That's the unfortunate truth.
That's unfortunate. Well, I hope you had enough coffee, because I'm going to give you a little bit of a quiz now on some things that a catch up, since it's been a while on the LPL, but maybe some questions geared towards what we've had learned today in the last 3 days of the LPL. First and foremost, who won MSI? Who won it? Let me hear. I'm gonna open my. Who won it? What region?
JDG.
What region?
LPL.
Oh, you want to say it a little bit louder? You want to?
No, I'm good.
I think you should, but
that's
do
okay.
you, boo boo.
Kai, whose side are you? What is this?
Kai's on my side. So, Kangas, at least you got that one. JDG of the LPL won MSI, and I specifically want to give a shout. I answered the question. Shout out to JDG. Huge stuff. First time Knights found an international.
This is incredible, by the way.
Yeah, this is actually the typing speed is actually pretty nice. Knight found his first international. Ruler, first time in the LPL. In his first split, wins the LPL and then also wins MSI. So really, really big stuff.
Are they getting the hat trick? Are they going to be the first?
The Golden Road is starting to be paved,
the Golden
man.
Road.
The Golden Road. Follow the yellow brick road. Next question. Who's at the top of the standings right now in the LPL?
BLG. But on a technicality.
On a technicality. And was that? Who's that?
They played one less game than JD.
Oh, look at you. So what's their score and what's their win streak?
It's 5-0, 5-win streak.
Oh, look at that. Look at that.
Keep it coming, Mazel.
This is the hardest. I feel like we're playing with the children blocks where you have to put the square in the square hole. And
Where does the circle go? That's right, the square hole. How about the rectangle?
I don't even know if I can do this anymore.
It's one of our top 10 best videos, I think, on the internet. It's so good.
Who was the player that had the crazy 40+% damage done on Annie?
It's funny you should ask that.
Oh, yeah? You're going to look over your screen with the document to find it out?
Zero idea. But I could do that. I do have the document up on this monitor, but I'm not looking at it. I'm looking at this monitor.
Okay, well, it was Forge for Ultra Prime. Yes, that one. I'll give you one more question, see if you've had enough coffee for it yet. Who was the best rookie of week number 2? Developmental mindset. Maybe
it was the top laner. It's not Shahu. It's
close.
Sounds similar.
Yeah, very similar.
Was it an L? No, it wasn't L. It was a Shao.
You're close.
You're
so close.
Shao.
All right, I'm just gonna give it to you. Shao Shu.
Shu.
You got it.
Thank you for saving me there. I was just gonna keep saying syllables.
Just go down the entire alphabet. Eventually, it'll happen. It was Shao Shu was the best rookie of week number 2. All right, you've had enough coffee. It's all good. All right, we're gonna get to.
I'm semi-following along. We're getting there.
We're gonna get to our last segment here, and this is probably my favorite part. It's where we bring together a lot of the community stuff, things that are happening in the LPL. We show out some of the future content, things that are going on, and some accolades given out as well. So the first thing we got to give out are a couple accolades where Xiaohao actually ended up with 800 games played, which means he is number 2 in the entire league for games played, right behind Mako.
That's a lot of games.
That's a lot of games.
But more concerning is how thick that 8 is. I just want everyone to pay attention to it right now. Why did they have to do that to the number 8?
All right, congratulations, Xiaohu. 800 games played. We're gonna move forward away from the thick 8. To Wei, who actually achieved his 1,000th kill in the LPL as well. There's no 8s here, okay?
Okay, thank goodness. I can pay attention. That one, though. Okay, no, it's fine.
Whoa.
So, 1,000 kills. I'm trying to think compared to other regions. That doesn't feel like an insane amount.
It's not that much. But for a guy that's been playing probably consistently in the LPL for about 2-3 years. 3 years, I would say, at this point now.
Okay. Oh, yeah. So, sorry. I guess I misunderstood. I thought this was like a record. But no. This is just a milestone for this player.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a milestone. It's a milestone. Yeah. Next up, I actually don't remember what these are. We're just going to go through them. I have them in order here, but I don't remember. So we're going to explore as we go. I know we had a post from LPL Fan Club that I wanted to go ahead and bring up here.
Love that page.
Hopefully, Kai, as...
no!
Thick 8. Oh,
it's
no.
Back.
What is Kangas going to do?
It's
Run away. Run away, Kangas.
We're going to get the show canceled before we even get it off the ground.
So there is a little bit of a change upcoming to IG. We will see Beishang, who was on originally WE, an LDL call-up to WE, moving over to IG as they've been having a little bit of trouble with their jungle setup and looking to kind of change that up. And then also Unfortunately, there's been some health concerns for YSCam. I know he's a player that you really liked. He's a player that was gaining a
No.
lot of fame. He has had to take another step back. This is consistent. I think the third time now in the last year that he's had to take a step back. So they will be bringing up a win from their LDL roster. Never seen this guy play. Obviously, Vladimir Tricker here as he's really known for a lot of those aggressive top lanes. And I want to see if he can do anything for IG. Again, it's not looking very promising for them. They're having a lot of trouble here. So.
Okay, can we go back to the first photo? Okay, so this one, face, posturing, and positioning kind of looks like he's recreating Xin Zhao a little bit. The eyebrows aren't quite right. He needs to furrow them more. And now go back to the number 2. For Wen, was that their name? Wen?
Yeah, Wen.
Okay, now imagine he's just standing there like this. I'm telling you, that's
gotta
content.
Get better pictures,
I
man.
think the teams need to start thinking about that. Think about the champion you're gonna have and get your player to pose like them.
All right, let's go ahead and go over to
Something
LPL
there.
English, who did also have a interesting interview with Elk on his 4th year anniversary. There are many excellent ADCs in LPL history. I just hope people can mention my name when they are talking about LPL ADCs. I want to be remembered. And I think it was a pretty emotional moment for the entirety of BLG because they were all really invested in this 4-year anniversary for Elk. They were really happy for him. There were a lot of gifts given over to him. So a kind of wholesome moment.
That's cute.
Yeah.
4 years is a lot of time to spend at a job.
Yeah.
If you think about like being a
Especially
pro player, I mean, I know a lot of people don't think of that as like, it's a job as like the first thing, but that's oftentimes how I view it. It's like that. I mean, you have to compete at a top level to maintain that spot. Very high stress situation.
Yeah.
Not every player can have long careers. Not everyone's cut out for that kind of stress and pressure.
True.
But yeah. Shout out to Elk.
Moving on next, shout outs to Elk, but moving on to another startup in the community. I actually don't know how to pronounce the name, Jikai. But this was a video that BLG posted, and it was really funny. If you actually go back, so you watch the video here, you look at Ben feeling a little bit dejected, but the translation is they're talking about somebody forgetting their phone on the car. And On, who's sitting right next to Ben, is like, who is it on their phone right now?
The Zoomers are all addicted.
It's constantly with this team, man. They are always bantering with each other. It's so good, and I love that Bid has like turned into the old man now.
He is visibly upset. He's got the shakes. He's got like the God. I need a look. I need to check the socials.
I thought this was just too funny, man. It's so good.
That
it's
photo.
So good.
Take a screenshot of that. Yeah.
All right, let's move on to iCrystallization next. As we did have Allah with a very so this was the start of a very awkward situation. Just because they were actually talking about Leave in his situation. I know we've talked a little bit about it behind the scenes. Not something I'm going to bring up here, but Uzi in the background of Allah. And Allah pretty aggressive in a lot of the trades that he takes, but it's just so funny. He gets solo killed as soon as Uzi walks up to watch. You can just see the absolute embarrassment. Like, look at that. Look at that face. Oh,
wait, did he have riposte up too? I think he has riposte up. Yeah, why does he just riposte?
Yep. And he just looks down, and then he just feels that there's somebody behind him. And then that smile from Uzi, man.
That's pretty funny.
If you don't mind going small screen, I actually think there's a comment on there I wanted to look at too, because Linda screenshotted the moment.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh no.
That's
and then there's also a comment of just Uzi's smile. It's so good. It's so
pretty
good.
funny.
I love the LPL, man.
Oh,
it's so good. All right.
I felt that too.
Felt it. Let's go ahead and go to LPL English, back over to the main Twitter. where they had some of the most interesting fan signs I've ever seen in my life. And we need to get some for the LCS. That's all I'm saying. I want to see like Licorice's face with like a Golden Guardians thing coming out of him. Look at that. How good is that, dude? How good is that? Come on.
Oh, that's funny. All right, I'll add it to the Riot purchase list.
All right, perfect.
Yeah, sound
just
makers,
so hilarious,
noisemakers.
man. I can't. And then they show Ning's face right there. It's perfect.
See, I'm telling you, LCS teams are like, how do we make money? What do we possibly sell on our website, on our incredible e-commerce investment? Just throw this up for $5. I promise you,
I'd buy 30 of them, man. I'd buy
like,
30 of them just to have them. Let's go ahead and bring up.
Hard.
Let's go ahead and bring up my crystallization next as well. Oh my god, I've smiled so much my cheeks are hurting. So this is Ruler talking about Uzi's return. He hovers Vayne, and this is the stemming of a bigger thing going on in the LPL right now. I know we talked a little bit about it before, but Uzi's back. And when we get into picks and bans, teams are hovering Uzi's Vayne to elicit the spirit of Uzi, the great god of Uzi Vayne, to come in and delight their games and make them have better games, get a lot of kills. And so Ruler giving him a kind one here, saying because Uzi's return, gotta hover Vayne. Looking forward to compete against him again. And he also had in another statement where he's saying, never gotten a face against Uzi when I was at my prime and he was at his prime, and now I'll finally get that chance, which I think in its own right is a big moment for him.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. I mean, you love it when other pros, especially like if you're saying Ruler's the best in the region right now, that just shows the legacy that Uzi's had. And there's nothing that feels I imagine there's nothing that feels better for a pro than the validation of their peers. Like if the competitors around you are giving honor to your legacy and what you've done, that's got to mean more than any coach, any fan,
True. Our last community sentiment was from QB2, who was posting about Missing's Recon skin because it looks pretty familiar. This was Ruler tonight, who picked out his Samsung Galaxy skin on the Xayah. He never whips this out unless it's a big moment that he feels like he needs to step up to the moment, step up to the plate. He did tonight, and it was just kind of cool to see Missing tagging along with him there.
That's cool.
It was pretty cool. That is it for our regular community sentiment segment. But we have Mazelle's moments. This is where I picked my favorite moment of the entire 3 days. What's happening in the community, anything that's going on in game, out of game. And my favorite moment was Alk Battery becoming a guest of LPL English. Congratulations, my friends. A man I've known for a long time, been casting alongside him for a long time. And he's finally able to make it to professional League of Legends casting since he had already done Wild Rift. So welcome, my friend. And that was my Mazelle moment.
Congratulations, Alk. Also, I slightly resent you for using the official LPL graphic and not the one that I painstakingly spent 10 minutes on.
It is what it is. You got to talk with our producer about that.
I didn't know that they were making an official. I thought that they were just ghosting him completely.
All right, here we go.
Oh, yeah, yes.
Here we go. There we go. Nice.
Now the audience can rate which one's better.
There we go. Okay. Perfect. Well, Kangas, I appreciate you waking up this early with me for some coffee before bed. Kai, the producer behind the scenes, this show just got 1,000 times better because of you. So thank you so much. I do want to give a shout out. We have an upcoming game tonight in the LPL. It'll be Uzi's debut for EDG, something I would have never seen coming in the past. And here we are against IG. You definitely don't want to miss that one.
When's our next episode?
That's what I was going to get to. Thanks, everyone. We're going to be coming back to you on the 16th. So in 3 days. Okay. Make sure you check back in. It'll be on YouTube, Spotify, Anchor, and anywhere else you can get your podcasts or videos, I guess. But we'll see you next time for another episode of Coffee Before Bed.
Before we close out, I have one final thing. I'm very excited for 12 a.m. Sunday, June 18th. We can talk about it on the next episode as well. But we
I
get
hate you so
we
much. I know exactly
should
what
we
you're
say it?
referencing.
Should we say
No,
it?
no.
No? Okay,
We're
we'll
gonna
talk about
say
it next
goodbye
episode.
for
Tune
coffee
into the
before
next episode to
bed.
figure out
We'll
why.
see you in episode 9, and thank you all for tuning in.